Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the Gnarly Gnome, and this is Drinking with the Gnome. On this week's episode, we talk about Ponyboy Slings. We talk to Ponyboy Slings. The owners, Mike and Janelle, they made the time to sit down with me virtually to talk about what this is. It's a carbonated bourbon cocktail, or 3 different carbonated bourbon cocktails. They use real ingredients. They use these cocktail forward recipes, so it tastes like you're drinking a good cocktail, not some kind of nasty chemically mess of an RTD, which there are those out there. You've had them, you know what they are. That's not what these are. Let's jump into the show. They'll explain what this is all about, who they are, and why you should probably be drinking them. In fact, you should probably be drinking them while you listen or watch this episode. That's what I think. It's all right if you're not, but afterwards go get some. Let's just listen to it. Let's get into the thing, and then afterwards I'll wrap up and tell you more that you need to know. Anyways, let's get into this. Drink it with a gnome.
My name's Janelle Bass.
And I'm Mike Bass.
And we are the co-founders of Ponyboy Slings. Ponyboy is a bourbon-based canned cocktail, but it's not like a typical bourbon cocktail. It's a little bit more refreshing. Bourbon's on the back end. We have minimal carbonation. And it's kind of like a nostalgic soda style. And we're based out of Louisville, Kentucky. And we're in Kentucky and Tennessee right now.
That answers one of my questions right off the bat. Why bourbon for the cocktail base? I think in Louisville, if you're going to start off, you have to use bourbon. I know up here, Ohio, Northern Kentucky, how insane people are about their bourbon. I can only imagine down there. It's 100 times more fanatical than it is here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. And honestly, we worked with bourbon before Ponyboy. We were beverage consultants and have always been in kind of the bar industry. And we were consulting for bourbon brands all over Kentucky in the middle of summer. So we were making really light, refreshing bourbon cocktails that we would put in kegs and carbonate and put on tap.
Yeah.
And that's when people were like, bubbly bourbon. I mean, it's like their minds were being blown. And we realized no one was playing with bourbon like this here. So when we got the opportunity, we were like, well, we gotta do bourbon.
Right. The last episode of this show, for anybody that's a regular listener, we sat down with Madtree, one of the local breweries here, and they have a line of RTDs, and their latest one is a bourbon-based one. And I told them on the show that how brilliant this move is, because I feel like so many people, their experience of bourbon is some kind of very stiff drink, if not just bourbon by itself. A lot of people have no idea that there are things like bourbon highballs and drinks that are just kind of light and refreshing, and it pulls this other side of the bourbon out. And I think it's super smart, and something that I really enjoy because I love bourbon. But it gives me that in the summertime. Yeah. I can sit by the pool and drink something that's still bourbon forward, but doesn't sit the same way as just a glass of straight bourbon might.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
What brand did you say came out?
It's Madtree. So they have Sway. Yeah, they're canned cocktails. I don't know if you can see that with the light. This is Raven's Riff. This is with New Riff Distillery up in Newport there. Yeah. This is more of a like an old-fashioned inspired highball, but very carbonated, definitely very fruit forward, but still bourbon is what you get front and center on it.
What's the ABV?
Theirs is lower. It's I stand corrected. This is 8%. Most of their canned cocktails sit around like 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's a good sweet spot too, especially with bourbon, because our cogs building this out. It gets, until you're at scale, it gets a little pricey, but we're at a good price point on the shelf at like $11.99, $12.99, depending on where you buy it. But when we first started, we talked to distributors and we're like, what's the sweet spot? They were like 7 to 8 is a sweet spot for RTD, because it's not vodka, it's not tequila. You feel like you're getting a little bang for your buck, but it's not going to plaster you. You can have 2 or 3 of them and still be like in IPA condition.
Right.
Yeah.
I find the shift in consumers interesting too, because when seltzers and even some of the early kind of vodka seltzers started to be a thing, everybody was approaching them like a beer. They were thinking of it like I'm drinking kind of a light, easy to drink, maybe healthier for me beer. And once people figured out that you can have a canned cocktail, something that is a whole different experience, it opened the door for people to start drinking closer to 7-8%, being willing to pay a little bit more money for it because you know that you're drinking in a different way than you just sit and crush light beers all day.
Yeah.
It's been fun watching kind of that consumer figure that out, I guess.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What inspired you guys to start all of this? You said that you were working with some consulting with some other bourbon brands. Why jump into the RTD space?
Yeah, so we were doing consulting, working with big suppliers on national restaurant accounts, in addition to building cocktails for distillery visitor centers and events that these bourbon brands were doing. So like one of our big clients was Sazerac, and when a national restaurant umbrella company like Darden or Blooming Brands wanted to do like their new summer 2026 menu, here's the theme that we want it to be around, we would get all the data, their demographics and everything, and start building out these cocktails. So that's when we learned, we were seeing a lot of trends, flavor trends, format trends, what have you. And we started, that's kind of when we were building these keg cocktails, because we were doing events during the summer and it was really hot, and no one wants like a shaken whiskey or a bourbon sour when it's 99 degrees outside in Kentucky. So
I mean, I think some
There's
people,
those days.
more like no one wants to drink. Drinking straight bourbon at noon in the dead of summer is a little more hard. So I would drink a whiskey sour.
Yeah, so we were doing an event, and we had been saying yes to everything, because when we first met, we didn't know if we were going to stay in Kentucky or not, because I'm from the Florida area, from like your Central Florida, Orlando area, and Janelle's from the Indiana side of the river, but Kentuckiana, if you will. So we were, saying yes to everything and working with a lot of suppliers and clients and everything. And we were doing an event in Lexington with Blade and Bow, and we kind of, our paths crossed with our now angel investor that, kind of put this idea in our head that you guys need to stop consulting and giving away your IP and start putting these into cans. And that one thing led to another, and we were like, okay, yeah, this is challenging. Let's lean into it, and slowly, moved away from the consulting until this took full time. It's just the two of us launched it together, and we went full time. We went all in. Probably the beginning of mid 22 is when we were because we started this in late 21, doing formulations and everything, and that's when we're like, all right, this is a full time job now, so we need to really get behind this and start moving.
It's exploded in the last couple years, all over Kentucky, Whole Foods. I mean, there's been some incredible growth down there. I won't be happy until it's in Ohio, but I'm happy to see you guys growing in Kentucky and Tennessee now. It's fun watching that.
Thank you.
The product is good. I will be trying some on this show, not right through this interview, but the next section will be me drinking this. And if you're watching this on YouTube, that's where you'll see that. If not, go to YouTube, because people like watching me drink things for some reason. I think it's a great product. I think that there is so much space right now for things like this. And I love the craft beer industry. Beer is, we're going to call it stagnant right now. And the breweries that are succeeding are the ones that are branching into this world also, and understanding that consumers want something like this. And I think you guys are coming into it at the perfect time with the perfect product that fits a lot of different people. And I think that is something that's hard for some places to figure out. They create these products that is for one very specific group of people, and it doesn't kind of transcend different ones. And I think you guys are hitting it right on the head.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, no, we definitely feel, especially being in the market now for just about 2 years, we've learned so much in the sense of we're kind of bridging this gap between a whole market of people who are interested in bourbon, but are a little intimidated by drinking it straight or neat or even in an old fashioned sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're in bourbon country and they want to participate and it's hard. And so what we've learned is that there's so many people out there that they'll try a Ponyboy, and because it's like blended and balanced, they can drink it. And it's kind of become like this gateway bourbon to that whole realm of people who want to, be a part of the culture. And then also our craft beer drinkers, we feel like they are totally our demographic. I mean, we say we're the bourbon option for a beer occasion. And I think craft beer drinkers tend to be a little more adventurous. They're okay with trial. They're willing to, spend money to support local and all these different things that we are. We've seen that the craft beer drinkers have been a big support for us. Like a store accidentally put us in the beer section and it actually flew off the shelves faster than we did in the RTD section. So that just goes to show like there's definitely multiple markets for this, and just getting the word out there is our biggest, goal.
Well, I'm a huge cocktail fan, and yet when I go out and I'm out drinking, I very rarely will I order a cocktail, because I don't always trust that it's going to be worth my money to get that cocktail. You have so many different factors that go into it other than just the cocktail recipe itself. Whereas canned cocktails provide this really great bridge for somebody like me, that I can go out and I know exactly what's in there. I know that that's going to be good. I know that it's going to be balanced. I know that it's going to be done right, and I can get that, and it's easier to consume that way, which is one of the things that I love about craft beer. You know exactly what you're getting off that tap. As long as people clean their taps. This is your weekly reminder. Everybody clean your taps. Clean your taps.
Seriously. Clean the lines, people.
What about other spirits? So you guys are leaning really hard into bourbon right now. Is there talk about going into some other things? I imagine, as former bartenders, former cocktail consultants, people who like to make cocktails, there's probably other things you like to make cocktails with.
Yeah, absolutely. We have played with a lot of different ideas on what our fourth SKU will be, what direction we want to go. And we're still kind of doing some deep dive research to make sure that the fourth has a lot of intentionality behind it, And so we definitely have some fun ideas. And we did 100% of our formulation. So when we first got into this, we found a food scientist, and her and Mike were
she was she had just left. She was the food scientist for Sweetwater 420.
Okay.
She moved out to Colorado to get in on, what was then just starting out the THC drink game.
Yeah.
So she was fully independent. We found her online.
And they worked together. And so, Mike basically did 100% of our formulation. So we play around all the time in our kitchen. We have we force carb, and he does it. And so we've got a few on the back burner that we're trying to figure out what to do next.
That's a good around the answer.
I know. It's we're not going to tell you exactly. But
there are so many things that just go well in this format. Gin is an easy one for me. I love bright, fizzy gin cocktails.
Yeah.
I think something with tequila. I don't think I've ever really had great fizzy tequila cocktails, and I know that there is a way to do it, and I'm desperate for things like that in the market. So I can't wait to see what you guys come out with.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Back to your question about that is, originally our dog's name is Whiskey. He'll probably chime in at some point during this interview, but we call him Whiskey Boy. So originally it was, let's do something super fun and nostalgic. How about Whiskey Boy? Because I was kind of getting inspiration from branding wise from these old retro dog food cans.
Okay.
That were Alpo or Hey Boy or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so we thought that, and then Janelle said, well, let's not pigeonhole ourselves into whiskey in case down the road we do want to do this and go branch out. and she was like let's do like an homage to Kentucky, since we met here, fell in love, got married, started the business, something maybe with horses. And then she said, what about Ponyboy? And I instantly, I don't know if some people know the Outsiders, the book, the novel, and then the movie. And I thought, no, that's too close to the Outsiders, the movie. And then she said, what's the Outsiders?
And for those of you who don't know, like I didn't know, the main character's name is Ponyboy in it. And so now I'm very well versed, but it kind of kept making us laugh. And then we found out really it wasn't a huge deterrent because not a ton of people knew the Outsiders. And we're like, and even if you do, and you're like, stay gold, Ponyboy, it's like, that works too. So we looked it up, and there was
no trademark.
No trademark.
So we own the trademark to Ponyboy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it was fun, and our idea too is to go a little bit opposite of traditional bourbon culture, which is usually pretty serious,
right.
And it leans into its long-term traditions and stuff, and so. I was like, if we're going to be bourbon in a can, we need to be fun and inviting and like kind of like this feeling of freedom and inclusivity. And the 70s just really like embody that. And so we kind of were like, let's go this little bit of retro kind of fun feeling. And that's kind of where our branding came from.
I love it. And I love the branding. If anybody hasn't been to the website, you can spend a lot of time on there just kind of looking around, which is something that a lot of brands have not, again, really figured out yet. It's a landing page, a place, here's where our distributors are. Here's how you find our product. And that's it. This gives you that personality and the soul of the brand. And I like that a lot.
Our Instagram's even better.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Drink Ponyboy.
As a photographer is my day job, so I appreciate so much when I see somebody that puts some time into the artwork that again tells the story of the brand. So
I love
hats off
that.
to you guys. Keep up the good work.
This is our photographer here.
And thank you for saying that. I feel the same way, but my sweet baby social media team, they keep telling me you have to just keep doing reels, but I'm like, photos. Here's me going into the social media rant here. A reel can still be rooted in photography. It can still satisfy that urge for the people that just want to go look at beautiful pictures on Instagram. And I think if enough of us do it, eventually Instagram will switch back to being photo focused. Right? That's how we
force
started.
them to do it.
I know.
Really lean
But yeah, put reels up. That's the smart thing to do.
Well, they keep us young, that's for sure.
Let's talk about the three products you guys have on the shelf right now. The first one is Bourbon Popstar. First, according to the way I listed them on my notes here. That is strawberry focused, right?
Yes, and we actually just recently changed the name.
Okay.
So it would be more descriptive on the retail shelves. Because we're bartenders, we started off with kitschy, fun names, but we realized, in a store, if you're like, Ponyboy, what's Ponyboy? And then your eye goes down, we realize a Bourbon Popstar still doesn't tell you what it is. So now it's called a Bourbon Strawberry Spritz.
That's perfect.
Yeah, because that's really what it tastes like. It's very light. We use real strawberry juice, dry vermouth. We do some bitters in there too. And it's just like a medium kind of carbonation. So it's this like light, bright. This guy tasted it last night. I did a taste and he said, this tastes like joy. I said, I'm going to take that.
Pony joy.
I get a lot of crap sometimes when I am tasting something and I use descriptors like that. People are like, no, that doesn't tell me anything. I'm like, it tells you everything.
It tells you everything. It tells you everything.
Like snap, crackle, pop.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, My Cherry Amour.
Yep, which is now the Bourbon Cherry Crush.
Okay, this is the one that I've tried, and it was delicious. Obviously, black cherry forward. A little bit of lemon going on. What else is in there that I'm missing?
Dry vermouth, bitters again, and the lemon is an extract. So, it's definitely tart, super bright, juicy. We say it's like our juicy cherry soda style.
That makes it sound so good. And then the final one that I really want to try, and I have not tried yet, but I'm going to be down by the river tonight. It's Oktoberfest weekend in Cincinnati for anybody that wants dating of when I'm recording this. So I'll be down that way, and I'm probably swinging by the party source and snagging something.
Please do.
Derby cream soda.
Yes.
Tell me about this one.
Yeah, so this one's now called the bourbon cream soda, which
Okay.
is not a big change. So yeah, so now they all describe it. But you want to talk about
Yeah,
it?
so
Yeah.
the cream soda, we wanted to add another layer to it. We literally tasted and ordered like probably 30 cream sodas and just kind of like, let's drink cream soda this weekend. And actually, it was funny because, not to get off topic, but we ordered on DoorDash to the cream sodas, and I just went down the list and like, they have all of these available, and like the guy comes to the door with literally 2 bags of just bottles and cans of cream soda. But
Yeah, we
yeah,
taste.
that one, we did a lot of iterations on this one, but we added sherry to it, so it's bourbon with sherry, and then we have like a little hint of butterscotch and pure vanilla extract, which, vanilla extract, if you know, is pretty pricey.
Yeah.
By the ounce, we're at 5 times the price of our bourbon. So there's a lot of love and a lot of money went into this one.
Yeah, we call it liquid gold because I'm telling you guys, when we decided to do cream soda, we did it because it kind of naturally accents bourbon with the vanilla
Right.
notes, the caramels, and and we were like, great, this is going to go so well with bourbon, and it did. And then like a year later, the vanilla prices skyrocketed, and we're just looking at each other like, why did we decide to do
Yeah,
cream
and
soda?
they're not going down.
No.
But everyone loves the cream soda, so it would be really hard to like. It's not like it's our least seller, and we could switch it with a root beer or something. But yeah, people love it, so I'm excited to know what you think of it when you try it.
Yeah,
I
and
will.
then back to the other two. So we are creating these as a full layered cocktail, well balanced. So the pops, or the bourbon strawberry spritz, and the cherry crush, they both have dry vermouth in addition to the bourbon as well.
Well, and I think that for a very long time, when seltzer was kind of exploding and doing its thing, people just kind of latched on to single flavors, and they were expecting just one flavor. I want fizzy booze with strawberry, and that's it. Or I want fizzy and orange, or whatever their flavor was, and that was all that people were expecting. And as people kind of realized that was boring, started to kind of drift away from it. Now we're getting into these really fun times where people are like, all right, yeah, I like strawberry, and I definitely want strawberry, but I want a little bit more. I want something else. I want a cocktail, and like the way you guys have built these, I think is very exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
the
you.
bourbon pop star, actually, it's not on the label. There was, we for the new bourbon strawberry spritz, we pulled it out, but there was a little bit of basil extract in that, which you'll find when you try that one. Everybody, it was half and half. A lot of people like it. A lot of people couldn't get their head around what that savory note was. So when we decided to remove the basil from the formulation, it was like, okay, this thing, now we're in line with like this nostalgic kind of soda taste. So you have like a
Right.
strawberry soda, cherry soda, and a cream soda.
Right, and it really just made the strawberry pop, and we were like, oh yeah, we got to yank the basil out because our industry friends, our bartenders, they all loved it. Everyone, I mean, we loved it. But I think overall, like Mike said, it's like hard. If you don't know what it is, it's kind of hard to pinpoint it. So when we yanked it, it was like, yeah, it just really, you know,
Yeah.
it's like to us, it's our favorite. So
Uh, awesome. Well, is there anything else you guys want people to know about Ponyboy that you think that they may not know after sitting through this?
I mean, yeah, the biggest thing for us is it really is we're local and we really are a small business. It's just Mike and I running this ship for the most part right now until we start to scale and grow. But all the support is so appreciated and welcomed. And yeah, we're in Party Source up in North Kentucky, and then
If you want to just try one, we're in, our friend owns Galaxy here in Louisville. He just opened one in Covington as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, great bar, great music. If you're into like DJs and house music on a
Yeah.
weekend night, but we're available there as well. So you can go in and, try one of each.
yeah,
I
definitely.
love it. There, for all the people that are out there drinking buzz balls, why buzz balls are so popular, I don't understand.
We
For all the
don't.
people that are out there drinking things like that, Just try something that tastes better, and
Try
I
something that tastes
guarantee you're gonna like it.
Yeah, we don't use yellow dye number 3.
I say that, but if BuzzBalls wants to sponsor the show, I'm more than happy to.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, the one thing I will say, like, you know, I feel like in drinking and drinking choices, there's a big split a lot of times with the consumer that doesn't really care what's in it. You know,
Right.
BuzzBalls, they're probably like, whatever, it's, you know, 20% alcohol. But then there's another side that's like, well, I want the one that's like 90 calorie. And so there is this big split on like what you're drinking.
Sure.
The biggest thing with us is because we're bartenders and we come from that side, we really did put a ton of love into each of these cans. We don't use any preservatives, and that's a big deal. So we tunnel pasteurize, and so we got greenlit for Whole Foods nationwide. So no preservatives in there. We don't use artificial colors or flavors or sweeteners. We use real cane sugar, but not a ton. It's really low. It's like 15 grams a can. And happy accident, they all fall right below 200 calories a can. So when people taste it, they think this is going to be like a Coke, but it's really not. We
Right.
really use all real ingredients, real juice, vermouth, bourbon, bitters. Like, we're not cutting corners over here. We're trying really hard to change, you know, the canned cocktail game and get people to start to really like, wait, what's in my can? Because there's a lot of other brands out there that do cut corners you wouldn't even believe, and I won't say anything about that. But we do know, and we know them, and we don't do that.
We see you. There's a lot that you know, claim like this real spirit and this real juice, but then
Right.
in the fine print it's like artificial sweetener, artificial flavor.
Yeah, and so it's, you know, that's my only thing is like it's just, it's hard for people, especially with alcohol, because no one really lists a lot of the ingredients and stuff. But just to kind of start to be aware of some of those things. And one more thing that's in addition to our cans that have the gold lids, that's our most recent run we just did.
Those with the name changes.
Yeah,
Okay.
a couple months ago. We're using Green River in those cans. So that's our bourbon that we use. And it's a young bourbon. It's 13 months aged and 21% rye.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we were sourcing our bourbon from MGP
Sure.
out of Lawrenceburg.
Same mash bill.
Same mash bill. So, you know, we got a good relationship with Lofted Spirits, Bardstown Bourbon Company in Green River, to start purchasing from them. And now we can say Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey on our label.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's on there too. So
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
MGP makes good product, but this makes more
Absolutely.
sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's as the brand keeps growing, just fine tuning little things like that is for geeks like me is fun to watch. So
yeah.
keep
Well,
up
we
the good work, guys.
appreciate it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys. I appreciate you making some time for me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And for anybody that has not tried Ponyboy Slings, go try them.
Yes.
Get out there, go try them. Tell me what you think, and we'll go drink one together.
Yeah, in our
Sounds good.
websites, drinkponyboy.com, and then all of our socials at drinkponyboy.
Perfect. And next time you guys are up in Northern Kentucky, give me a shout, and we'll grab a drink
We will.
together.
I would love that.
All right. Cheers, guys.
All right,
Awesome.
cool. Thank you.
Again, huge thank you to Mike and Janelle for making the time to sit down and tell me all about Ponyboy Slings. I'm really, really excited to sit here and drink all of these, which I'm going to do. In fact, you should go wherever you like to get videos. Maybe it's on YouTube or on Facebook or I don't know, wherever. There's a video. I'm going to try all of these. I'll put the link somewhere. I don't know where, but I'll put the link somewhere. If you're watching on YouTube, it's down somewhere or up somewhere. I don't know. Look, just search for Gnome Drinks Ponyboy Slings. It'll find it, I think. It's what the internet does. I don't know. I'm going to drink these. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you, Mike and Janelle. For all of you who are curious, go to the store and get these. I went down to Party Source. They've got them all there. They're all there. And you can go and you can get them and you can bring them home, put them in your fridge, drink them whenever you feel like having a carbonated bourbon cocktail in a can. They're great. Go get them, and we'll see you next time on Drinking with a Gnome. Cheers, everybody.